Hello YouTube, this is Darkon633, and yes, I have got into the Yokai Watch craze. Now, I actually watched the show, and it's actually a pretty good show, actually. Even for dub standards, it's actually one of the more decent dubs we got in a long time. And the toy itself is also pretty good, even though it's actually released under Hasbro instead of Bandai America, which is kind of funny, but it does kind of work in some cases, which we'll get to look in a minute. I got this from Toys R Us for around $20, which is an extremely reasonable price for what you actually get just from the toy alone. On the box it shows a picture of Whisper, Wild Kappa, one of the trio, but I don't remember which one it is. I think it's Steppa or something. I don't remember. I get them confused. We have Desmeralda and Komo-san and Komojiro on the side here. So on. Back it shows some of the features of the toy itself. It can work at the scanner app, which I've yet to actually been able to download for some reason. But we'll now look at the watch itself. The watch, which major difference is, as a lot of people have already seen, it no longer features the light up LED here, and there is no on and off switch, which is one of the worst parts of the Hasbro version. Another difference is that supposedly the strap is actually made of a different material, since the Japanese version was actually put its separate pieces there, and it's made of a different material instead of the soft, almost rubbery plastic. But overall, the toy itself is pretty decent. It actually fits rather well on my adult size wrist. So there we go. The main features of the watch is that just alone it actually has two sounds. One, it's basically, if I remember correctly, there's just putting in the metal and opening up the bubble up there, and then basically it's scanned to look for yokai. And that's pretty much how Nate used in the show in order to find the yokai around in the neighborhood and so on. And basically to activate that, you hold on to the button rather than just pressing it once. But anyways, the two metals that the set includes is Whisper, which is just a standard Whisper metal, and also Jinbanyan. However, there's actually another version of Jinbanyan which I actually included in the small PVC figure. Well, not PVC, because it's actually made of hard plastic, so the small Yokai Moments figures, as they called it. And this one's actually different than the one released in the Japanese version. But anyways, it all makes the same sound, so it doesn't matter. First, we're going to take a look at Whisper, which fortunately really doesn't do a whole lot. Basically, we slide it in, and sometimes before, if it actually makes a sound, the no sirs will actually say no, no, no if it actually doesn't work. In the Japanese version, it's supposed to be able to do that when you put it upside down. So basically what it is that, how they activated it, is that you put it upside down and basically give you an indication that you put it the wrong way. In the American version, it's just kind of random. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Basically what you're going to do is, inside these little areas, there's these little grooves, which activate the little buttons inside there. So think of some of the other Power Ranger toys that kind of do something similar. So we're going to slide in this metal, and then, as you can see, the no sir is already activated. So we're going to do it again.
What's up, my corporeal friend? I am Whisper, at your service.
Now, as you can see, he doesn't have any other special sounds or anything and all that. And when you press the button,
What's up, my corporeal friend? I am Whisper, at your service.
so no matter what, the Whisper metals, even the other ones including the Yokai Moments and so on, will not make a different sound. However, the back it does have a QR code which can be used for the Yokai Watch 3DS game. Jinbanyan, on the other hand, will have one.
Summoning Charming! Jinbanyan! I'm pretty busy right now.
I really like the Jinbanyan metal, it's pretty cool. And his voice will be repeated when you just press the button.
Jinbanyan!
And even when the metal's inside, as long as you hold on to the button, it will activate the Yokai scanner. So as you can see there. Anyways, we're just going to take this out. And that's pretty much it for the Yokai Watch on its own. Now, while the watch doesn't do a whole lot just out of box, just keep in mind that this watch actually is able to scan 100 of the different yokais released, well, as they call it, the Season 1 watch, since even in the Japanese version, they actually upgraded the watch and made different versions of the watch that are able to scan more metals. Now, Hasbro did something interesting because it is their own version of the watch. While it looks like the Japanese version, the Japanese metals do not work in the Hasbro version. And that's because these notches, from what I could tell, are actually moved to a different side of the metal. And while the metals are pretty much the same size, from what I could tell, it doesn't have the same notch area, even though the notches are the same, since now I won't be able to read it and unfortunately scan it. So, while the Hasbro version definitely has its ups and downs, it's still a really nice watch, and for $20, you're actually going to get a really good deal out of getting this watch. Now, while I got this at Toys R Us, in the last month or so, it actually has been spotted into several different areas. So it's actually a lot easier to find it. It's on Amazon, it's on Hasbro Toy Shop, and GameStop will be getting it eventually, so finding the watch is not going to be a problem. It's just getting all the medals in the wave is the major headache part of the collecting part of this particular gimmick. But I highly recommend picking this if you're a fan of the Yokai Watch anime, either the Japanese version or the English dub, which is actually playing on Disney XD. So I highly recommend picking up this watch if you're a big Yokai Watch fan. Anyways, please comment, subscribe, and check out Hirotaku, and this video should be up there eventually at one point. Also, please check me out on Twitter under Darkon633, and please check down the other channels down below, including the WW Podcast and more. And I'll be back to bring actually another Yokai Watch reviews in the future, in the next couple of months. So anyways, I'll be seeing you too. Bye.